I have a problem.
I love playing golf games. The thrill of hitting that perfect drive is just so addictive. So I thought, maybe I would like golf in real life too. I was wrong. Golf in real life is hard, like really, really hard. These golf games have been lying to me, and I'm gonna fix that. So most golf games all have the same kinds of controls. You can like pick a club, you can aim a little bit, and then you have to fill up this bar with good timing by pressing a button. I mean, I am not even looking and I'm pretty sure I just hit like an amazing drive straight onto the fairway. Yeah, okay, like 250 yards, I guess. This is not how real golf works. And before you all rush to the comments, yeah, there's other games with more complex controls, and that makes it more possible to hit a bad shot. But even then, you're not hitting shots that are that bad, not nearly as bad as the average amateur golfer. So if we want our golf game to be hard, to truly represent what it's like to play golf in real life, we need to abandon simple, elegant controls. We need to get crazy with it. Bennett Foddy is the king of crazy, difficult controls. So maybe we can get some inspirations from one of his games. Wait a second. Is that just a golf swing? Boom, we have a way to swing a golf club. And this way you can actually completely miss the ball or hit the ground, just like in real life. If you're wondering what all this blank space is, well, this is where the rest of the game is going to go. I have this idea that it's going to be kind of like a fighter jet cockpit or something, with heaps of different controls that you have to manage all at once to hit the ball well. Alright, now let's set up a very basic ball and course so we can actually like hit a ball. I can just read in how fast the club face is moving and all of that and apply a force and we can hit the ball. Neat. And maybe I could like attach the camera to the ball so we get a follow cam. That seems like it's working. What? How? Oh, balls roll. So the camera is gonna roll too. Okay, that's better. And it's surprisingly satisfying to hit the ball this way, but it's still just like a sphere and a plane. We need to go further. So how does someone with no artistic ability at all create a game with the level of fidelity that the modern gamer demands? Well, the whole game is about creating a more realistic golf experience, so I think we should go photorealistic. Now that sounds expensive and difficult, but I have an idea, because you know what's already photorealistic? This. We can just use video. So to get us started, let's borrow some golf videos from YouTube and drop them into DaVinci and cut them down to just the golf shot. Yes, I know I was just standing on a golf course in the previous shot, but this is all recorded out of order and it doesn't make any sense. Then we can write some code to control the flow and the timing of the video in Unity. And now when we hit the ball, the video plays. Cool. I also tried a version where the video tries to match the club swing, but it just looks so unnatural. I think I prefer the hit happening right after you do all the inputs. But obviously we can't have a different video for every possible kind of golf shot you might make. That would be like infinite videos, which I'm pretty sure won't work out. So what are we going to do here? I do have one idea. So if we look at our game here, it looks like it's just a 2D scene, but if we spin it out to 3D, we actually have our full golf course in all its glory over here off to the side. So over here in the golf course that like the player can never see, we add a 3D camera. And we tell that 3D camera to render what it sees out to a plane that we can place as a panel so that the player can see what's going on. Then we move that panel so it kind of overlaps with the video, and then we tell that camera, hey, don't render the sky or the grass, only render the ball. The ball can still bounce off the grass and still interact, but the only thing that's going to come out is the actual ball itself. And now we have a composite image that is both video and a 3D ball playing out. It's just really fiddly to line up all the perspectives, but boom, it totally works. But this approach gives us a new problem. There's no way to see how close the ball is to the hole. The camera is stuck
way over at the tee. And like we can zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, but it's just gonna look terrible. Really, really terrible.
I tried out a few different ideas to show the action from multiple angles, using more photos and overlays. Is this a lot of iteration? Yeah, but don't worry, there is no way that all of this work will be a total waste of time later in the video. By the way these tracking shots work is it's actually just a 360-degree photo that's been converted into a skybox. And that way you can turn the camera around in any direction to follow the ball. I borrowed these ones from the internet, but in fairness, I did try and make my own using 36 photos from my phone, but I don't understand this software. I just couldn't make it work.
So far, we can hit a shot straight, but we can't hit the most common, most feared shot in amateur golf, the slice. That's not a slice.
So now, as well as swinging the club the right power, you also have to control the angle of the club face while you're swinging. The club face is always sort of trying to fall out of angle, and you have to fight it to keep it in balance with the keyboard. It's kind of like balancing a rail grind in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. One of the other really big factors for your golf shot is the spin on the ball. So the spin can kind of make it curve through the air, which can change your shot a lot. I spent quite a bit of time kind of iterating on this and figuring out how I'm going to present it. So I'm just going to let that time lapse play out with no fancy edits, so you can kind of see all of the work that went into it. Now it's kind of like you have to balance two grinds while also swinging the golf club. And now we are getting somewhere. You can hit some absolute terrible shots into oblivion with ease. This is the golf that I know all too well. I think it's finally time to replace this stolen video with something else. Let's get some new original shots. So we went golfing again. I hit more bad shots, but also I learned that there are some other parts of golf that are super important, like drinking and driving.
Oh, Jesus. You killed a koala.
Luckily, Jace, who was the producer on Fruit Ninja and Jetpack Joyride, is a better shot than me. So we can get some video of his shot and then turn that into an idle and a hit animation. I have to mess with the timing quite a lot to make it feel natural in the flow of the game. I also changed the layout like maybe a million more times, trying to figure out what looks good. Your eye kind of bounces around all over the scene, so I spent ages fiddling around with different layouts. We are making such good progress. I'm so excited with how this project is coming out. Nothing can slow us down. So unfortunately, that 18 months later isn't just a bit. It really has been 18 months since I've worked on the game. It's a semi-interesting story, but it's a long story, so here it is if you want to see it quickly. But with all of that done, I can start back on this game and I can really start looking at it with fresh eyes. First, I figured we needed to redesign the layout again. I don't know why I thought that, but as I did, I started to wonder, what are we actually doing here? Where is this game going? I've spent so long thinking about just the input, I haven't thought about anything else. So the entire time that I've been making this game, I had only imagined it as you're trying to get a hole in one. The entire game and the whole point of the game would be there's only one achievement, and that achievement is basically impossible. And that is, can you get a hole in one? And so it would be as difficult to get a hole in one as it would be in real life. And that would be kind of the appeal for people, is like, maybe I can be the one to get a hole in one. But the problem is what you start to realize
is there's no progress. Like every shot that I'm taking here, I don't get any closer, and I'm probably never gonna make this shot, right? And that's what made me start to think, maybe there needs to be more to this. Maybe it can't just be trying to get that one perfect shot. One of these is supposed to go in to finish this bit.
But the more I think about it, the more I think this isn't the way. I can kind of feel the game wanting to break out and be something more. But while ever the main graphics of the game is the video, I'm kind of stuck. Like the video idea works great as long as you're only trying to do one thing, but there's no flexibility at all. So I'm gonna have to try something new. I'm gonna give myself a 1-week game jam to see what it's like if I kind of split out the video and the course and do like another different hybrid thing. Let's go. Alright, I'm actually super happy with how this came out. You get the 3D course, but it still looks unique because of the video for the golfer. There was a bit of work to make it look natural, like the lighting kind of has to match in the video and the 3D course. And I also ended up experimenting with a little blob shadow to help center the golfer. Something else you might have noticed is I actually merged the spin and the club face panels into one. This kind of gets away from that whole jet fighter cockpit thing that I was going for, but it actually just feels much more natural and makes sense. It's also really fun to hit a draw or a fade shot this way. And it still leaves the door open to doing reaction shots and still doing more fun things with the video. It just isn't as limiting. We could be in a different course, the golfer can obviously be in different spots. I also don't need to hire an $800 professional grade 3D camera that creates monster files that we can hack into skyboxes. And so what are we going to do with all of this power? Well, I can think of two options. The first would be we could just make it like a normal golf game now. Like you could play 18 holes. One of the big pros of this is now when you hit a bad shot, it has consequence. It has that progression that I was talking about before. But on the downside, that feels kind of boring. But if we don't do that and we still keep the idea of you're just hitting the same shot over and over, what are we going to do? How do we make that not boring? Well, I figured I could go back and look at some of my own old games. I tend to make a lot of games that are doing the same thing over and over, and then coming up with ways for them to be more interesting. And maybe the best example of that is in Jetpack Joyride, where you have a little thing you can do called missions. Sure, you just fly around murdering innocent scientists every single time, but you also have a fun, neat little objective to do to get a star. And that feels really good. So I figured, hey, let's do the same thing. Let's add missions to this game, see what we can come up with. While I was in here, I also quickly hooked up sound. Sound is something I usually leave till the very last minute, so I wanted to try and change that this time. But yeah, anyway, now the mission system is done. They became like these single challenges rather than having 3 at a time. And mostly because it gives me the ability to start having more fun with it. We can start embracing more interesting, weird ideas that you would never see in a golf game. And this led to the idea of maybe challenges unlock panels and those panels unlock other things. Mostly I was just having fun with it. I feel like I could make some really wacky, exciting, surprising stuff for the player to find. But before I could get too crazy with the challenges, something came up. You see, I got an email from Screen Queensland saying they'd open up their games grants program. I decided to apply and, oh, they funded it. Have I ever mentioned that Queensland is literally the best place in the world to be making games? Like, not only do we have like beaches and rainforests and Great Barrier Reef and Ipswich, but Screen Queensland might actually give you money to work on your indie game. It's crazy. But there is one downside to all of this free money. And that is, now that there's money, there's a contract. And so I have milestones. And this first milestone is due now. Okay, hello and welcome to Milestone 1 Deliverable A announcement video. This is it. You're watching it right now. What was next? Milestone 1 Deliverable B, game name and logo. There is like 1 billion golf games, every name is taken, so I'm gonna just go with something like Luke Muscat's Ultimate Golf Challenge. And we'll use as many fonts as possible and keep it classy, you know? Oh, Milestone 1 Deliverable C, active Steam page, even if placeholder. There you go. Oh, you should wishlist it. I'm also adding a button that lets you sign up to play test the game. This is what I did on Feed the Deep as well. Now, the playtest isn't ready yet. We still have lots of work to do before we get there. For one, we need to actually do the video properly, get all the reaction shots, and really make the most of what we can do with this video stuff. We're going to go to a proper green screen studio for that one. I have to decide on whether that's going to be me or whether it'll be Jace or it'll be an actor or what. So yeah, definitely subscribe. I feel like that's going to be a really fun devlog when we do all of the filming. And then the plan is to just really start building out the challenges. The game in its current state is more of a tech demo than a complete game. But I really think this has so much promise. There really is nothing else quite like it, and it actually is so satisfying to hit a good shot. Like, you really feel like you earned it. It's such a good foundation for the rest of the game. But the fact that the game isn't ready yet is not a bug, it's a feature in this case. Because I want your ideas. That's right, applications are open for Luke Muscat's unpaid design internship program, also known as please leave comments about what you think the game should be. This worked so good during Feed the Deep, and heck, even in the last video, unpaid intern Brandon Court made a suggestion to change my screenshots on the App Store for Feed the Deep, and it led to an 18% increase in the conversion rate. So yeah, it's really exciting. I don't know exactly where this game is going to end up, but whatever happens, I'm going to be showing it here. And yeah, if you're excited to play this game eventually when it comes out, please wishlist the game on Steam. That is literally the thing you can do that supports the channel the most. And yes, that is the video. Thank you for watching. This is months and months of work spread out over 2 years. So if that doesn't earn a like and a subscribe, then I don't really know what will. Also, a big thank you to Jace, Nell, and Mick, who helped me play golf, tried to coach me to make my shots better, did a lot of the filming and everything. I know the whole bit is that I hated golf because I sucked at it, but even sucking at golf with great friends is actually a really fun time.
Get out. Oh, no.